What's up guys? Adam from Run.Ruck.Lift. Today I am going to show you 3 must exercises to keep those knees healthy when you're running, rucking, and just doing life. Let's get started. All right guys, my number 1 exercise for having those strong knees is the reverse sled pull. This is an amazing exercise, hands down, must do, must have to keeping those knees healthy. So much plays into the knees being healthy. Everything from the hips to the foot ankle complex contributes to how those knees operate, how they stabilize, the stress that they're under. So this is one that will hit the foot ankle complex, hit the calves, the quads, the hamstrings, glutes, and even that lower back. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna load up with a sled. As you can see here, we're using the Tank M1. And all we're gonna do is just hold on to something or put a strap around our back. This one's set up with a rope that we're just gonna hold on to. So in this situation, we get the added benefit of working on our grip strength as well too. All we're gonna do is we're gonna get tension in the strap or rope, and then as we walk, we're just placing the foot we're stepping with behind the heel, behind the knee, pushing through that toe, just walking backwards. Nice, slow, steady steps. Do this for about 5 to 10 minutes. Not looking for a super heavy load. This is not a max effort. We just want to be able to steadily pull this sled 5 to 10 minutes, and this is going to elicit a really good burn in those quads. It's going to get blood flowing to the foot ankle complex, blood flowing to the knees, and this is great to add in before you run and before you go into these next 2 exercises, warming up the knees, warming up those joints, and keeping them healthy. All right guys, our second exercise we're going to see is called the knee over toe front foot elevated split squat. You may have heard of this one. This one was coined by Ben Patrick from ATG. This is by far one of my favorite knee exercises. It really becomes more of a stretch and allows us to lengthen the hip flexor, stretch out the glute and the hamstring on one side, hip flexor on one, and then it also allows us to get that foot into some dorsiflexion, which is really important when we're going down and up inclines. And then really the big target with going that knee over the toe position is just to develop the strength in our end range of motion in our knee. And this is going to be dependent really on where you're at from previous injuries, previous things that may contribute to you having lack of range of motion, but this is definitely one of the best exercises to help improve that. So let's go ahead and get started on that. All right, so our knee over the toe front foot elevated split squat, you're typically going to want to start with this elevated. Our goal over time is to work down to being able to do this on the ground without any elevation, but I want you to think long term on this and really trust the process and buy into what you're feeling and spending the time working on this movement. So I'm starting here with a 12-inch box, depending on your ability. A good place to start, maybe 20 inches, 18 inches, but then as you start hitting those baselines on where we need to be at, you can slowly start working down. So for the front foot elevated split squat, I always like to use a PVC pipe or some sort of dowel. That way we just don't have to think about our balance and we can really focus on the movement. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna set up with one foot on the box. I'm gonna kick this back foot behind me just a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the knee forward over the toe, and I'm gonna try to maintain my chest being upright, and I'm gonna try to lengthen this back leg. So as I go forward, I'm looking to get into a range of motion that isn't going to cause pain. So as I start to go into that knee over the toe position, you may feel a big stretch on the leg that's forward. Over here in this glute and hamstring, on this back leg, you may feel a big stretch in this hip flexor if you're keeping that leg straight. Also, think about squeezing this glute on the backside leg so that you're getting a little more stretch out of it. You're gonna hold for about 3 to 5 seconds, then you're gonna come back out of it. Just kind of shake it out there a little bit, and then you're gonna come back forward, again, pushing that knee over the toe in a pain-free zone, and then you're gonna come back out of it. So what we're looking for here as we start to work ourselves lower to the ground is the ability to get that hamstring completely over the calf muscle. So as we come forward, we're seeing how close. Some of us may be right here, which is perfectly fine. We're just looking to increase our ability in that in range of motion. This is gonna help lengthen up that hamstring, the glute, hip flexor. As we feel comfortable and we're pain-free, we're gonna push that knee a little bit further. Once our ability allows us to get that hamstring completely over the calf, then we can start to progress lower down to the ground. All right, guys, third exercise we have for strengthening those knees is just an exercise called the lateral band walks with a hip circle band. What you're gonna take is any resistance band that you can place around your knees, and then you're just gonna do a lateral walk with that band. This is really great for strengthening the glute medius, TFL, which really is two of those big contributors into stabilizing the knee and can really play dividends into the longevity and health of your knees. So all we're gonna do is just put that band around our feet, bring it up slightly above the knee. As you can see, I have this one placed right above the knee, and then we're gonna take just a quarter squat. So we wanna think about pushing our hips back, bending the knee. This is an isometric hold. We wanna try to keep those toes facing forward. The whole goal and premise of this movement is to keep those outer glutes engaged. So what we wanna do is we're gonna take a small step, about 6 to 8 inches, one direction. Make sure tension is still driving outward in that band. And then as we step with this foot that we started placed, we're gonna step and control that band. Don't let it slide to you. You wanna be very nice and controlled here. So step, 6 to 8 inches, step, step, step. We're gonna go one direction, about 10 to 15 reps. Then we're gonna bring it back the other direction, same thing. So be mindful as we start to fatigue, these muscles really start to light up. Those toes are gonna wanna turn out. Try to be mindful of that. Keep those toes facing forward. Think about spending the time under tension here to really reap the benefit from this movement. So remember, when we're putting these to use, we wanna be using these in our warm-up and or cool down exercises. So I like to implement these before any workout or running. All my athletes, including myself, we're doing 5 minutes of reverse sled pull or other options that's going to simulate and elicit that stimulus of the reverse sled pull. Then we're throwing in about 3 rounds, 5 on each side of those front foot elevated split squats. Then we're doing about 10 to 15 each direction on those lateral band walks. This is a great warm up, especially if you're going into squatting or some heavy lifting, or just to get those little stabilizers primed and working before a hard run or a long run. Thanks, guys. Remember, embrace the challenge, do hard things. Hey guys, I hope this video helps. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you like this content, you want to see more of our content, just hit that like and subscribe button.